Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a quick video on how you're going to get through this Unit 5, Assignment 5, 5-plane, 9-plane voice leading assignment. So remember, the most important thing in voice leading is that every single note in every single chord should be no more than about a step away from the next note. You don't really have to get any more detailed than that, and basically visually, the chords should look really close together. So when you compare one chord to another, they should look close together. So for example, if I was to draw a chord that looked something like this, next to a chord that looked something like this, you'd think to yourself, wait a minute, one's at the bottom of the staff, one's at the top of the staff. That's not going to work. And so we want to get them as close together as we possibly can to make them look right. Okay, so going back to our assignment here, it says create either an open or a closed 5-plane, 9-plane voicing for each chord. The voicings should voice lead between each chord. So the most important thing about this, and I can't stress this enough, is that you are going to start and stay with open or closed. So you're not going to go back and forth. You're not going to go open, closed, open, closed, open, closed. So that is super important. The other thing I can't stress enough is that the voicings will flip. So what does that mean? It's going to be 3 on the bottom to, bottom to 7, okay? So the first chord, A flat minor 7, that would be a C flat on the bottom. And guess what? The dominant 7th of this D flat 9 is also a C flat. So let me open up Dorico here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to just kind of write out part of this first example here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So, all right, so now that we have a Dorico project open, what I'm going to do is just copy over the chords really quickly from the previous screen. So we had an A flat minor 7, going to a D flat 9, going to G flat major 9, going to B major 7. Okay, so again, we've talked about this before. The first order of operation we're going to do is we're going to put in our roots, because remember, the root plane is not part of the voicing. So I'm just going to quickly enter in the bass notes. So the first bass note is an A flat, and then you have a D flat, and then you have a G flat, and a B. Okay? Now, Dorico is flipping my note spellings around because it would rather see sharps rather than flats, but I can quickly adjust that. Now, for the next part, we need to create our voicings. Now, remember, we need to do 5-plane, 9-planes, which means we have to do them in the plane order. So again, we have the root on bottom. Then, for number 2, we need to pick a voicing, and that's open or closed. Then we need to assign the planes, spell the notes, and finally we need to notate. Okay, so we already taken care of the root, so that's easy. So the next thing we need to do is pick an open or closed voicing. So this first one, I'm going to do an closed voicing just for fun. So now I have to assign the planes. So on this first chord, you can see it's an A flat minor 7. So that means that we have a minor third because it's a MI or a minor chord. It's a dominant 7th because it doesn't say major like these ones do. There's no 9th and there's no altered 5-plane, meaning there's going to be just an octave in the 9-plane and the perfect 5th in the 5-plane. So that means what I'm going to end up with is I'm going to end up with a chord that, if I spell it from bottom to top, is going to start with the 3-plane, which in this case is a C flat or B natural. Then the next note up, because it's a closed voicing, is going to be the 5-plane. And again, this is printed in your book. Remember, that it's 3 plane, 5 plane, 7 plane, 9 plane. So the next note up is going to be an E flat, because that is the perfect fifth of an A flat chord. Then we have the dominant seventh, which is a G flat. And then we have the octave, which is an A flat. Okay, now again, Dorico is just misspelling my notes here, so I'm just going to go ahead and respell them so that it works correctly. There we go. So we have, again, C flat, the minor third, E flat, which is the perfect fifth, G flat, which is the dominant seventh, and A flat. Now, remember, we have to flip the voicing to make it make sense, because this was third on the bottom, so we're going to get 7 plane on the bottom in this one. So if we click here, that means if we go to the 7 plane, this is a dominant seventh because it doesn't say MA. So the dominant seventh of D flat is also a C flat or B natural. Oops. Now this one, after the 7 plane, is the 9 plane in a closed voicing. So the 9 of this is going to be the major ninth, or the second note of a major scale. So that's an E flat. Then we're going to have the major third, because it doesn't say MI, and in this case that is an F natural. And then the next note up is going to be the perfect fifth, which in this case is an A flat, because again, it doesn't say 11, it doesn't say 13, there's nothing that would change the 5 plane. And if you look at my voice leading here, you'll see C flat goes to C flat, E flat goes to E flat, G flat goes to F, A flat to A flat. Great voice leading. To our third chord, now again, we need to flip the voicing over. We did 3 on the bottom, 7 on the bottom. So now I'm going to get 3 on the bottom again. The third of a G flat major 9 happens to be a B flat, and then you're going to get the 5 plane, which is D flat. Then you're going to get the 7 plane, which in this case is an F natural. And then you're going to get the 9th, because this one asks for a major 9th, which is in this case an A flat. And then finally, for the last one there, you're going to see you're going to have a B major 7 chord. So this was 3 on the bottom, so now we need to do 7 on the bottom. The major 7 of this chord, well, it happens to be a B flat / A sharp. And then you're going to have the root, which is a B, because again, it doesn't have a 9th in it, so the 9 plane in this case is going to be the octave. Then you're going to have a D sharp, which is the major third, because it doesn't say MI. Then you're going to have an F sharp, which is the perfect fifth. Now I'm going to go ahead and ask Dorico to respell this chord, because it looks kind of funky. There you go. And again, great voice leading, A flat to F sharp. That's only a whole step, right? Because we're just going flat to a sharp, so it looks like a third, but it's really just a whole step. F to D sharp is a whole step again. D flat to B, whole step. A, B flat to A sharp, that's the same note. So that's what the voice leading would look like. And again, if you connected each one of these top notes, you'll see that they all make a very, very simple and straightforward line. It's just do, 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 do. And you could do that for all the notes. And remember, the root is exempt from this. Okay, so that's question 1. You just fill that out. Question 2 says, create your own functional chord progression with 4 chords that voice lead. So basically all you need to do is create your own chord progression. What's the quickest way to create a functional chord progression? Well, that would be to literally take and grab 4 chords that are right next to each other on the circle, and that would make them functional. You can use one of your chord graphs, but again, it's just a circle progression, and remember, they have to go counterclockwise. So C goes to F, F goes to B flat, E goes to A goes to D, and so on and so forth. So it's a real quick video, but I think this will be pretty easy, and you can also reference back to the video about voice leading if you need some more help. So have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.